Did you know that in 697 AD, the city of Venice took its first major step toward becoming a legendary maritime power? This was the year Paolo Lucio Anafesto was elected as the very first Doge of Venice. But how did a group of scattered fishing villages on marshy islands grow into one of the most powerful cities in the Mediterranean? The story of Venice is one of resilience, strategy, and an unbreakable spirit. From a humble refuge to a mighty republic, this transformation was anything but ordinary. Let's dive into the fascinating origins of Venice and uncover how its first leader set the stage for centuries of prosperity. Enjoying the adventure so far? Smash that like button, subscribe, share your thoughts, and drop a comment below. Also, follow me on Spotify, subscribe to my Patreon, support me on Buy Me a Coffee, and join me on Ko-fi for more epic historical journeys. Venice didn't start as the grand city of canals and palaces that we know today. In fact, it began as a desperate refuge for those escaping the chaos of a crumbling empire. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire, northern Italy became a battleground. One of the most terrifying moments came in 452 AD, when the fearsome Huns, led by Attila, swept through the region, leaving destruction in their wake. Thousands of people fled for safety, searching for a place where they could escape the terror of constant warfare. The marshy islands of the Venetian Lagoon, surrounded by shallow waters and difficult terrain, became an unlikely sanctuary. Over time, these scattered communities of traders, fishermen, and exiles learned to adapt, building homes on wooden stilts and mastering the art of navigating the waters. Little did they know, they were laying the foundations of what would become one of the greatest cities in history. By the late 7th century, the people of Venice faced a new challenge. They needed a leader who could unify their scattered settlements, protect them from external threats, and organize their growing trade. The Lombards, a powerful Germanic kingdom, had taken control of much of northern Italy, and the Byzantine Empire, though still influential, struggled to maintain its hold over the region. The Venetians, recognizing the need for strong leadership, made a bold decision in 697 AD. They elected Paolo Lucio Anafesto as their first Doge. But what made this so significant? Unlike monarchs who ruled by inheritance, the Doge was chosen by the people, a radical concept for its time. This was the first step toward the unique republican government that would define Venice for the next 1,000 years. The title Doge comes from the Latin word dux, meaning leader or duke, and while his authority was vast, it was not absolute. The election of the first Doge set the foundation for a government that balanced power between the ruling elite and the merchant class, an innovation that would fuel Venice's rise to greatness. Becoming Doge wasn't just about wearing a fancy hat, it came with enormous challenges. The Venetian settlements were still vulnerable to attacks from both land and sea. The Lombards continued to press their influence on the mainland, while the Byzantine Empire sought to maintain control over Venice as a strategic outpost. The early Venetians had to strike a delicate balance, maintaining their autonomy while benefiting from Byzantine protection. Meanwhile, the economy of Venice began to shift toward maritime trade. The shallow waters of the lagoon protected them from enemy fleets, but they also forced Venetians to become expert shipbuilders and navigators. This adaptation would eventually turn Venice into a dominant maritime force. With its first Doge in place, Venice had laid the groundwork for the political and economic strategies that would define its history. The election of the first Doge was more than just a political event, it was a defining moment in Venetian history. It established a tradition of elected leadership, fostering a culture of governance based on negotiation, commerce, and adaptability. Over the following centuries, Venice transformed from a collection of wooden huts on stilts to one of the most powerful trading empires in the Mediterranean. By the height of its influence, Venice controlled vast trade networks stretching from the Middle East to northern Europe. It built a navy that could rival the most powerful empires of the time, and its wealth and culture shaped the Renaissance. None of this would have been possible without that crucial moment in 697 AD, when the Venetians decided to take control of their own destiny by electing a leader to guide them. And that's your fun fact about the first Doge of Venice. But what do you think? Was the election of Paolo Lucio Anafesto the true beginning of Venice's greatness? Could Venice have thrived without its unique system of government? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more amazing historical insights. Want to support my work? Join me on Patreon, buy me a coffee, or Ko-fi to help keep these stories coming. Until next time, keep exploring the past, it shapes our future.